This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Dreamcast, up to 6 billion players.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Why don't we play together?
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
Please stop this disc now.
Aloha and greetings, junkies. Welcome to the Sega Summerfest on Dreamcast Junkyard DreamPod, where the breezy palm trees and blue skies vibes are a way of life. Today I'm joined by Lewis, Harvey, Mike, Dominic, aka the Dreamcast Enjoyer, and I am Brian. Thank you for joining us as a listener. Yeah, we're just here to vibe, really, today. And whatever the weather, the sun always shines in Sega world, and we're just here to celebrate the endless Sega summer. So that is the theme of the episode, and we're just going to roll with that shit. But yeah, to kick us off, we're going to do a bit of a roundtable style episode, at least for segments of this. And I wanted to just start off by asking everyone how your summer's going, and maybe if you have a highlight you'd like to share, or if there's something you're looking forward to, or you can just rant about how much summer sucks. That's also an option. I'll just go around the table. So Harvey, how about we start with you?
All right, then. I'm sure everyone's going to whinge about how hot it is in the UK right now, but I might as well kick that off. It's hot.
Might be too hot.
I live in a new build, and there's some days where I actually think I am melting, because there's no flipping aircon and it's insulated to keep as much heat in as possible. But anyway, my summer's going all right. I've actually been playing Death Stranding for the Dreamcast. I mean, for the PS5.
Wow.
And because Death Stranding 2 is coming out, so I thought, God, I should get on that because I love Kojima games, and I really like it. It's really cool. It's like it reminds me of Shenmue in a way, because it's this like the core of the game is like a bit of a mundane thing, you know, like where Shenmue does a really good job of that, and I kind of feel similar. This like relaxing, just walking around and you know, just walking around, I guess. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. How about you guys?
Yeah, no, Lewis, if you want to go next.
Yeah, I suppose for summer activities, my wife has a current obsession, which is that she wants to go up all of the Wainwrights in the Lake District, which are apparently, as she taught me, a load of mountains that a chap with the surname Wainwright decided were cool. And there was a very cool one that I went up, which allowed me to see Derwent Water, the lake.
Oh, nice.
With the town of Keswick in the distance, which, if you have played Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 2, is actually used in the background on the first bit on the observation deck where you walk across it. Yeah, the photo in the background is actually of Derwent Water. So I got a photo of it, and me and my wife call it Silent Hill. So yeah, and one of the walks we went up was actually quite foggy, so that was perfect. But yeah, pretty cool, lesser known pop culture location in the UK.
Is that the picture that you shared? Is that legit? I just thought that you thought it looked similar.
The photo in the game is a photo of Derwent Water, yeah. Obviously
What?
from a very long time ago. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Nice. So, I mean, is that the source for River Derwent? I mean, I imagine the river starts from there, maybe? Not that you have to know.
Well, it's Toluca Lake as far as we're concerned.
Yes, exactly.
Where James goes to mourn his sadly passed wife.
When we were there, actually, the coastal guard had to be called out because someone got stranded, and what they needed to do was head for the light in the distance to get to the hotel. There you go. Anyway, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, we've been meaning to get up there. Katie really wants to go to the Lake District and do a pilgrimage there.
Just make sure you get a Jemima puddled up.
Yeah. Beatrix Potter, that's where she was based, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the Beatrix Potter Museum's sick. You got to check that out.
Yeah, I went there.
No, it's really good. I like it.
Wow.
Forget Disney World. Beatrix Potter's where it's at.
Yeah. There's also a really nice gingerbread shop in Keswick, which I recommend everyone checks out.
Unbelievably British start to the podcast,
Very
lads.
nice.
A lovely gingerbread shop.
All right. Well, how about you, Mike?
I'm just waiting until it gets cooler. So I'm kind of willing it along by playing a bit of Redfall, which has been really maligned, but I think now that they've patched it all out, it's kind of sad that that's going to be their final game because I'm actually really enjoying that. But I'm going to reverse Uno this on Brian because we're talking about British summers.
Yeah.
And it's been very hot. And I have noticed a bit of a trend online in social media where Americans particularly are discovering that we're not just being pansies when we say it's so hot.
Oh, yeah.
How have you found this summer?
I love it. I think it's been amazing. I love that the spring was also pretty nice, and I live the Midlands, the East Midlands, so we kind of have a little bit of a persistent breeze also for whatever reason. And maybe it's like the River Valley or something. But yeah, combining that, I mean, there are some days where the humidity is a bit much, but it's also nice because you can just hop over to go over to Lincolnshire and one of the beaches there or something really easily. So I did that last week, and that was kind of fun. So I don't know, there's ways to adapt. We also have we're in a pretty old building from like 18 something, so it's like really well designed in a way that it's thick stone, and we just don't get a lot of sunlight.
And so you can just shut the sun out then? Yeah,
we shut the sun out as soon as it gets hotter outside as it is inside. We just close everything up, and it keeps the cool fairly well. So, but even when I'm outside and hanging out, I actually like it. It reminds me of like Florida. I mean, there's a huge swath of the states that have weather exactly like this all year round in the summer with the humidity and everything. So,
you know what, Brian? Every time you talk to me about your experiences living in the UK, I just feel like you're doing it better than all of us. Like, you're more British than any of us. You just sound like you're on easy mode.
Well, this is also my second summer here. So last summer was probably it was a little different because it was colder and it rained a lot more. But on the humidity did take a lot more. That was a good summer. That took a lot more getting used to. But yeah, I love it. I love it right now. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
He's putting us to shame, boys. Get the pork pies out.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Dominic, how about you?
Yeah, I'm doing well as well. I'm very hot like everybody else, but I've just got back from Portsmouth. Me and my wife were down there visiting my uncle who lives down there, so it was really good to see him because don't get down there that often. It's like a 4.5 hour drive or something, so it's not one I make every weekend. Other than that, just working, chilling, playing video games. Pretty normal, happy time.
Did you go on Jack Sparrow's ship while you were down there?
No, we did go to the historic dock, but like you can get in and have a look around for free, but then everything's like 30 quid to go on, and I'm skint, so I saw a lot of the ships from a distance, but I didn't go on any of them.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm not familiar with Portsmouth. What else is there?
It's where I'm gonna sound like a terrible British person now. One of our famous lords or other set off from there and won the Battle of Waterloo. Was that Nelson or Wellington? I'm bad with history, boys. It's like it's a very famous naval port. So like King Henry VIII's ships there and stuff like that. Basically, if you like boats and you like history, you will like Portsmouth.
I think you're missing the important part that there's South Sea, and they've got good arcades.
I had literally no idea. I haven't been there. Didn't know about that. Something to check out next time I'm there.
Nice. Yeah, in fact, I think we could do a whole podcast about seaside arcades.
Oh yeah.
I wrote a blog post. As I mentioned, I took a quick trip out to, I think it was like Cleethorpes or just some random beach in Lincolnshire, and last week, and I just wanted to. I really wanted to see the ocean because it's been forever. That's one thing I miss, is not living in a coastal community. But it was kind of cool being able to do that. And then of course, the arcades are always, I feel like they're always like past their prime and a bit weathered and a bit under maintained, but that's also part of the charm. And they also always have like a few classic Sega, racing games there.
With a burnt-in CRT screen.
Yes. Well, no. I think I played OutRun 2 SP with the projection screen, so it had decades of burn-in.
Did you do the classic coin pushing machines?
I did not, but I saw a few of them. They had some Pokemon themed ones and
the economy proof coin pushing machines. They've cost the same amount for the last 40 years each. The 5p one's always been 5p, and the 2p one still exists. And I'm like looking at it, scratching my head, thinking, who's benefiting from this in today's economy?
That's the new gold standard. Forget about that gold standard. We want to be on them coin pushing machines. That's how we should standardize the whole economy.
Yeah,
2p Pac-Man ball is life.
But isn't that also because they're just the same exact coins from 40 years ago?
Well, of course, yeah, but like
they literally haven't moved.
Yeah, but I'm like, surely
just wait till we get Bitcoin pushers.
Have they been profitable? Like, were they profitable 20 years ago? And if they were, surely it's impossible for them to be profitable for the arcade now.
Yeah, I don't know how they stay in business.
They're just taking up space, and that's why they moved to that ticket model.
You're missing the model here. The kids go on the 2p pushers because it costs nothing, and then the dads go to the over 18s bit and are putting the £5 spins on the roulette.
Bingo.
Yeah.
No, they're a loss leader. You're right. We should do a business podcast, boys.
Yeah, it really is all about the casino.
Dream stocks.
And that is the fascinating thing, is like we do not have that in the States. Like an amusement center on a beach is going to be, when they say it's like a family thing, they mean for kids. And so here it's like when they say it's a family amusement center, it's like, no, it's the whole damn family. It's, you got something for the adults to go gambling.
Takes me back to Vegas when I was 16, Brian.
Yeah.
And I have never been as disappointed as I ever was in the family part of a casino in Vegas. And I put my 25 cents in the pusher, knocked the money off, and then it spat tickets out.
Yeah, maybe it must have been some like gambling law to get around that so kids could play it too. They can't dispense cash or something.
Yeah, no cash basically, I think.
Yeah.
Have you ever been into a motorway service station, Brian?
Yeah, a couple of times, but I don't really drive.
Because they just randomly have a section where you can just go and do slot machines.
Oh, you mean in Nevada?
No,
in the UK.
Here. The UK.
Oh. No, I haven't noticed that.
And they have like a little rope across it. It's very strange.
It's for truckers, isn't it? It's just like the lorry driver blokes.
Imagine that. It's just like, I've had a long drive. I'm just going to go, like, waste all my money on a slot machine.
That is actually...
It's a little bit of a level up from driving for 3 hours, stopping at the services and then going on a racing game.
That's true, yeah. Anyway.
Nice. Yeah, one way or another, you're still paying them for the privilege of driving, whether it's to fuel your tank with petrol or putting some coins in Daytona. Anyway, yeah, I guess we have a topic this episode, and I suppose motorways are a familiar sight for people who are making trips around the country on holiday this summer. So I guess with that, let's talk about gaming a little bit. We can go around the room again and describe the first summer gaming memory of yours. Like what's the game you played where you realized, oh, maybe staying inside and playing video games is preferable to wasting away in the hot, humid UK summer. Dominic, if you want to start.
So it's probably a Dreamcast game. I'm just trying to think which one. So I always associate Sonic Adventure with spending a lot of time on summer with that. I actually got it for Christmas, but because it's just such a replayable game, I also was playing it a lot the summer of the following year. So I remember I just used to keep a file on that and sort of delete it and unlock everything all over again. Did the same with Soul Calibur. So probably Sonic Adventure for me, and just kind of firing that up and bumbling around Station Square and replaying Emerald Coast a million times, because that is just very summery.
That it is. How about you, Mike?
Oh, for me, well, I got my Dreamcast in winter, so it doesn't have that many summer connections. But before I got the Dreamcast, I actually got a Sega Saturn in the summer of '99, and I got that with Sonic Jam. And just the little, going on the Sonic Adventure thing again, the little 3D world where you can go and look at the, listen to the music, you can go to the cinema and watch the videos. Yeah, that's just basically summer in a nutshell to me.
Love it. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had the waterfall and the little river, and
it was kind of a prototype to Sonic Adventure, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, it was like a kind of a earlier build for what those stages were going to be like at one time before they had more powerful hardware to build them out to be a lot faster and a lot more, elaborate. But it was cool. I would have loved to see a game. What might have happened if there was like a more fleshed out version of a Sonic game in that mold, because I thought it was a really cool open stage of sorts, even if it didn't lean into the traditional speed and other mechanics that we were used to. How about you, Lewis?
Yeah, when you asked the question, actually, there's two things that popped into mind. One's like more of a shorter one. Was I remember me and my friends all were playing Pokemon. I think it was Fire Red and Leaf Green, and I just remember like this day we were just sat in front of my friend's house, like three of us, under like a tree, and we were just playing our Game Boy Advances and like trading Pokemon. And I remember just sitting there, and it was just, just a nice day, and it was just like super chill. It's one of those moments where you just like, that was youth in a nutshell, And then the other thing was, I've probably told this memory quite a few times on the podcast, was my friend who had a Dreamcast. I remember playing a lot of Power Stone and stuff around his house. But I remember actually one of the times I was playing, it was summer, and I was sleeping over. But I remember they had the patio doors open, and they were doing a barbecue in the garden. And I think we were playing Quake 3 Arena, split screen, and there was like this nice barbecue smell coming in. And then also in the middle of the night, right, we're going to sneak downstairs and play the Dreamcast. And I don't think we got caught, but I think we played a few rounds of Power Stone and then went back to bed. So there you go. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Those, I don't know, those carefree summer gaming nights are always a blast.
Now we have to work and be adults, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You can still sneak down in the night and play Power Stone, though, Lewis.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you can still do that.
Hit me up. You want to go online, like 3 a.m.? We'll do it.
You just pay for it the next day.
That's it.
How about
Pay
you,
for it for being old. Me, do you know what? For me, the real standout one is actually 4-player on the original Xbox with my buddies. I grew up in a little small tiny village in Wales, and I think it's the first time that we did all-nighters, like a bit like what Lewis said. We had this one friend where he just had all the games and all the toys and everything, and we got to do sleepovers at his place, and his parents just, I don't know what, they just didn't care, and they just let us stay up all night and just shouting and screaming and playing on Halo. And we used to just, on the hot summer night, all sit in front of the telly with our sleeping bags and just play Halo for Oh my god, we would probably play Halo for like 6 to 8 hours. About 6 of us, swapping out controllers and stuff. And the other game we would play is Fusion Frenzy. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers this game. Yeah, it's a 4-player, I don't know what you'd call it. A little bit like Power Stone in the sense that you're on like one map and you're all running around the map.
Yeah, it's like a Smash Brothers kind of. I'm not Smash Brothers, Mario Party kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like. And I remember playing that game, and there was another amazing game that I'm pretty sure is an Xbox exclusive, and it's called Kung Fu Chaos.
I was just about to say, Harvey, because you said Power Stone. I was going to say, have you ever played Kung Fu Chaos?
It is so similar to Power Stone,
good.
Isn't it? Yeah, so Kung Fu Chaos is a Power Stone alike, I'd say. No, it's like Power Stone 2 because the maps move.
It's very platformy, yeah.
The concept is you're fighting, aren't you? Or are you fighting enemies, or are you fighting each other? I can't remember. But
there's both modes. I've got it on my Xbox downstairs. It's both modes. You can be fighting each other, or like a single player mode where you're fighting bots. But yeah, you are moving along stages.
Sickest game. And the concept is that you're in a film and there's a director and he's like places people, okay, action, and then the level starts and it's like old-fashioned kung fu movies, but you're like the actors and stuff. Anyway,
it's really good.
Yeah, I bet you that game is like mega expensive on eBay now. I'm gonna have a look.
I think I got it for like £8 on CEX,
Oh, cool.
Give it a look.
That is something I'd like to just own. To shake at the kids going past my window saying, "This is a real game." Oh yeah, it's £8 on eBay. I'm gonna grab that. I think. Gotta get that. But anyway, that's what comes to mind for me. Just like staying up all night and playing on amazing original Xbox games.
That console was like proper underrated for 4-player. I probably don't give it enough credit. And that I remember playing that in the summer again to kind of keep on theme. That was the only version of Star Wars Battlefront 2 that had 4-player split screen. None of the others had 4-player split screen, and it was sick playing that game with 4 people, like all on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
You could play the split screen online as well, couldn't you? So you could all be in the same room, all taking on someone else.
Yep, I remember that. That was so cool.
Truly the Dreamcast 2, when you think about it.
Also the GameCube. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah. So... yeah, I mean, Xbox had... I just remember a lot of our summer nights. I think we also played a lot of Halo. We did the LAN party thing. So one of my neighbors, their house was like decked out in, every room was kind of ready to go. And back in like 2001, that was a bit rare that they had that broadband or that setup in the way it did. So we were able to each like put a TV in different parts of the house, plug it in, and that was a good time. So we each had like our own little like cove to play from. But what else? Yeah, I think for me, I was playing when I was a kid in the summers. My aunts would like take me on excursions, and she knew I liked video games. And we'd often go to arcades, and so there was one that was called. It's long gone, but it was called Nickels. And you literally go in and you pay like $2, and then you get in for that admission fee, and then every machine they have is like playable in denominations of a nickel, so 5, 10, 15 or 20 cents. And so it was a really cheap way to kind of spend an afternoon. And that's where I actually got hooked on a lot of the Sega classics, because they were a little bit older by then, as far as like Virtua On and Sega Rally. They had Daytona USA, like all of these amazing games. I think Dynamite Cop or Die Hard Arcade. Yeah, so that was like kind of my introduction to all of the amazing Sega games of the Model 2 era. And I gotta say, I think that was like very fond, or I have very fond memories of that as like kind of a place we'd hang out in the summer. There was also a burger place that had just it was called Earthquake Burgers, and it had giant burgers that you go, and it was like kind of a 50s diner style, and they had a OutRun 1 stand-up arcade cab in the corner, and so that was like my first introduction to that as well. So yeah, I don't know, I think a lot of summer memories are kind of synonymous with some of that Sega stuff for me. But on to the next question. Of course, Sega, as you know, especially in the early 3D era, was synonymous with blue skies. And unfortunately, there's a problem. We are the Sega Holiday Tourism marketing team. So we got to put ourselves in those shoes. We're at the table here in the conference room. We're the marketing team, and we've been hit with a cease and desist by the social media company Blue Sky over our continued use of the term to describe Sega games. So we got to figure out another way to describe the Sega summer charms or vibes of these games that doesn't include blue skies. So what are some alternatives if we're to just brainstorm some here in our meeting?
It wouldn't be the first time the Junkyard has been hit with a cease and desist. Anyway,
I was going to say, add it to the pile, Lewis. Join the queue, boys.
But I don't think they can take Blue Skies from Sega, because UK Resistance used to run a Sega Blue Skies campaign for keeping Blue Skies in gaming long before social media took off.
Yeah. Well, let's pretend that they let the license or the trademark lapse, and so they weren't on top of renewing it, so now they've lost it, and we can't use it anymore.
Is the kind of like trendy term Y2K aesthetic? I feel like Harvey can jump in here.
I think Harvey's already trademarked all that.
That is definitely on the list of current YouTube buzzwords. If you want to get into the algorithm, but yeah, like I mean, I unfortunately the only word that comes to me is vibes, but that just is so unbearably cringy that I
is that with a Z?
Yeah, 2 Z's actually.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, how else would we describe the blue sky aesthetic? I mean,
that's the question.
Yeah.
Azure Blue World.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
Azure skies.
Azure.
Dreamcast Enjoyer core.
Yeah. Actually, Dom's got this locked down as well. You've got videos about the blue sky aesthetic, haven't you, Dom?
Yeah, I just called it the Dreamcast aesthetic, that one. And I've also got a video called
Very
the
nice.
Y2K aesthetic. So now I'm being an SEO shill, apparently.
Nah. Hey, you got to play the game.
Actually, I'll be a shill too. I think back in, I got to bring it up here. It was in 2018. I did an article on the Junkyard about it was like contrasting the 20XX futurism like aesthetic that the Dreamcast and PC games at the time had, like Trick Style and Omicron and those kinds of games. And then juxtaposing that like with Space Channel 5 and like the Y2K aesthetic as it was known at the time. So
what's that article called, Brian? I want to find it.
Here, I think I found it. Let me send a link.
I'd love to read that.
Yeah, revisiting the aesthetics of Trick Style and Dreamcast 20XX futurism. Actually, that was the first thing I ever wrote for the Dreamcast Junkyard, now that I think about it. Here,
I will definitely read that.
It's not that interesting. It's definitely it was a fun starting point. I think my writing has come quite a long way since then. But yeah,
I've been playing the remake of Tony Hawk 3, and have you ever played the Tokyo level in that game? It reminds me of what you're describing. Oh, yeah. It's like so over the top, like neon signs everywhere. That is definitely that kind of aesthetic you're talking about in your article.
I am just loving that you refused to include Tony Hawk's 4 in the remake there.
Yeah, it's a joke, man. But yeah, I think that the sixth. I'm going to opt for the 6th generation. I don't know, aesthetic or something along those lines, because like I think the GameCube had the blue skies as well. Like Super Mario Sunshine and. Even like the Game Boy Advance, like a lot of like the Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, like they were very like summery and bright and colourful and I definitely think that this is why, like I think I said once on a podcast that the GameCube does feel a bit like the Dreamcast 2 in some ways, and one of the ways is that it just really embraces that kind of continues that summery aesthetic, I think.
A lot of things had that look back then, the the Windows XP kind of thing, this optimistic...
Frutiger Aero, I believe it's called.
Frutiger Aero, like that. It's all this
it?
optimistic future thing, which I really love. Super peaceful, optimistic is the word that comes to me.
Yeah, how far we've come.
What do you reckon, Brian? Did you ever thought about this?
I don't know. I do like the. Well, for me, it's almost like maybe more than just the aesthetic. It's like the Sega's rebellion I think as everything was kind of becoming edgier and a little bit darker and cooler throughout the mid 90s, Sega was kind of holding steady and ratcheting up that it's that aesthetic is pretty much a I don't know, kind of an umbrella of a lot of its work, or over a lot of its work. And so I almost kind of think of it as a bit of a rebellious spirit in a way. So I don't know if I would necessarily translate that to an aesthetic description, but yeah, there's a vibrancy there. Maybe I'd call it just the Sega summer vibrancy or something, or sunny day vibrancy, or I don't know. Sunshine. Can you feel the sunshine? It's like that whole thing. And then, but you're all right. I mean, Sega they didn't have, at no point did they ever have a monopoly on this. I mean, you look at what Namco was doing with like Ridge Racer at the time too. I mean, that, toe to toe, that's every bit as blue skies aesthetic wise as Sega Rally and Daytona.
So is Soul Calibur, to be fair. That's a very sunny game.
Huh.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, certainly the launch of the Dreamcast was a very sunny time, too, at least out in the West. So you had a lot of titles that kind of upheld that aesthetic as well, with Hydro Thunder, Sonic Adventure. I think Soul Calibur kind of fit right in with that. Makes sense. I think for now we can just get into the main core of the episode, and that is a bit of a roundtable discussion where we each highlight, take a few minutes to highlight some games that we feel embody the spirit of Sega's summer, the Summerfest of Sega, or the Summer of Sega, which could be every summer. And maybe these are games that we return to every summer to get us into that spirit. So I think with that, we will just go around the room. Do we want to start with... let's start with you, Mike. What's your first pick?
My first pick, definitely going to have to be Virtua Tennis, especially with Wimbledon wrapping up last night, which kind of embodies your typical British summer, I think.
Nice. I'd say the same thing. Tennis feels like the arrival of summer here.
You're not playing it in -3, are you, with crosswinds and ice?
Yes. Is tennis a big thing in the States, Brian?
I mean, I'd say it is, but it kind of ebbs and flows with the whoever is popular at the time, or whoever, whatever the programs look like. I think with the Serena, and Venus Williams sisters, like they kind of ushered in a generation of popularity that I think is maybe waned a little bit. But
so what we're saying is, when you do well at it, you're interested in it.
I think so. I think that's right. Yeah, because like the men's side, we haven't really had a lot of top ranked players in a long time.
Whereas we just really back when Virtua Tennis came out, we just always got behind Henman regardless.
Yeah, well, Henman's a legend, so...
Yeah, other than the Williams sisters, that's probably the only tennis player I can name, just because when I was younger, his name was everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as much as it's like very blue skies, like I say, you got Wimbledon running through the summer, but I think it was released in August 2000 in Europe, but it was on one of the Dream On demo discs before that, so it's basically my most played Dream On demo of 2000. And I think you just got the first 2 stages of the game, but it's just the perfect video game to me. It's like, it's just Sega doing what Sega do best. Find a concept, like boil it down to its simplest parts. You've got 2 buttons so you've got a normal shot and a lob shot, and then all the actual technicality of it comes out in just where you were positioned on the court at the time that the ball's coming across. And it's almost a bit like a rhythm game as much as it is an arcade sports game.
I know exactly what you mean. You get into this amazing flow, don't you? And you're just whacking it back and forth. And the sound design's really good as well. Like, it feels like the feeling of the atmosphere of the court is brilliant. And I don't know if, like, I haven't actually played the console one, like the Dreamcast one, as much as the Naomi one. I mean, I guess they're the same game, or are they different?
They're the same core game, but they've done what they did with Crazy Taxi. There's actually a career mode, which has a lot of mini games packed into it, and you can level up your character, you earn money, you buy extra teammates. It's basically what I would say was a perfect arcade home conversion in that respect.
Well, I was going to say, because you bought that octopus fight stick, and you were saying how good it was with Virtua Tennis.
I did, yes, and it's the game I've been playing on it. Yes,
yeah.
It just feels like you're playing it on a Naomi.
Oh, that's sick. Because like me and a buddy ended up at this barcade in Stratford in London, and we played Virtua Tennis on the Naomi for like 2 or 3 hours, drinking cocktails, and I couldn't stop.
Yeah, and it's really good in multiplayer as well, because it's only the loser that has to put another credit in.
And it was my birthday this night, and I got very, very twatted, and I was so pissed. I was so excited about Virtua Tennis because obviously I love Naomi and I love Dreamcast, and in the cab on the way home,
I'll just clear up for Brian. By pissed, he means drunk rather than angry.
I know all of that.
Anyway, so I bought Virtua Tennis because I didn't own it for the Dreamcast at the time. I bought it in the taxi on the way home, and then on my phone on eBay next to my mate, we were like, "Yeah, we're gonna play this all week, on the Dreamcast." And then I woke up with the most horrible steaming hangover, and I bought it again the next morning because I'd forgotten that I bought it. And I'm not joking.
Nothing wrong with that.
This is a true story. I legitimately had no memory of buying it in the taxi. And then on Monday morning, well, actually, I didn't realize until on Monday morning or Tuesday morning, 2 copies arrived. And I was like, oh my God, I ordered 1 copy and 2 arrived. Oh, this is jackpot. And then I looked back and I was like, oh my God, I ordered 2 copies of Virtua Tennis.
On the plus side, it is one of the cheaper Dreamcast games.
Yes.
It's not like you blew £200 on each copy.
Not my finest hour.
You could get the blue case for another game, maybe. It's a donor. Yeah.
I think I sold one or sent one back or something. Yeah. And but goes back to what I was saying is I've played it at home and it just doesn't feel the same. Or maybe I need to have about 16 margaritas in me to get that same feeling.
I'm gonna say I think you just need the alcohol.
Yeah.
I will second Mike, though. I do feel like the arcade stick is the ideal way to play those games. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I think that there's quite a few sports that I think are absolutely mind-numbingly boring in real life, but in game form are cool. And tennis is one of them, and also golf. 2 of the most boring sports to watch, in my opinion, but amazing in video game form. American
football, baseball.
Before you make me the other kind of pissed, Mike, we're going to move on.
Good one.
Yeah, well, actually, that kind of segues pretty well into my pick, which is kind of piggybacking off of that. And I do love those boring summer sports. To me, there is nothing more, summery than just chilling with friends and having golf or baseball or something on in the background, or even better, just being at a baseball game or a cricket match. Actually, it scratches a very similar itch I've found. I love going to those to a test match. But anyway, back in the early 2000s, I was also pretty interested in like volleyball and beach volleyball for a similar reason. And at that time, we had like Misty May and Carrie Walsh were pretty dominant throughout their career, I guess, as a duo in beach volleyball through the Olympics and all of that. And so that inspired me to play AM2's Beach Spikers, which came out, was also Naomi 2, and then came out on the GameCube, I think around 2002, I think. And it was very much in the mold of Virtua Tennis, in that it was, kind of a rhythmic game as much as as anything else. It wasn't really as precision based, but it was just kind of a fun summer vibes sort of thing. And I've recently replayed it, and they have a pretty robust career mode where you go through all these sponsored tournaments, and you have custom players that you create up front, and then they kind of have like RPG leveling up mechanics or systems where your partner starts almost useless. They can not hit a ball over the net. They cannot return a serve. They can't do anything. And then as you play enough matches and win some matches, you get to put attribute points into various categories to make them better at certain things. And then ultimately you can kind of max that out. But it's kind of fun as you go tournament to tournament and struggle in different ways based on the deficiencies of your partner. And and I don't know, I just think there's kind of a fun flow to it. It's very simple. I don't think it's as outwardly appealing to most people as Virtua Tennis. I think Virtua Tennis has more of a hook gameplay wise, whereas I think Beach Spikers is maybe a bit more niche. But man, I do love it. I think it's still a lot of fun to play. And some of the themed courts around the sponsors are really fun too. They kind of like start off at like a Holiday Inn stage, and then you have like Swatch, and that one's at sunset to commemorate the time. And then you have Coca-Cola and Nissan, and then you got Sega and Nintendo themed courses or themed tournaments, and there's like a giant inflatable Sonic that kind of overlooks the whole arena. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff like that kind of adds up, and I feel like it definitely has the summer theme kind of nailed. But I don't know if
it's just also, I think, quite crazy how what starts off as such a straightforward quarter muncher can be made a really deep home game without that much tweaking.
It's a great pick, Brian.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like Beach Spikers, but I've only played the arcade version. I've got it on GameCube, but I've just never fired it up. I didn't realise it had a career mode in it, so I might have to give that a spin, because it sounds pretty fun.
It's fantastic. Maybe they call it, I don't know if they call it Quest mode, or it's something like that, but yeah, it's just...
I think it is Quest mode, yeah.
Yeah, they were really into quests around that time. You had Virtua Quest, and I think Virtua Fighter 4 Evolutions mode might have been called Quest as well. Yeah,
Evo had Quest. Yeah, I've been playing that all week.
Well, I'm pretty sure the box of the game also says Virtua Beach Volleyball.
It's a subtitle. I think they had to work it in just to try to, say, hey, it's connected, right?
It's Sega, honest.
It's got to be Virtua.
You like the other stuff we do? We made Virtua Fighter and Virtua Tennis. Please buy our game.
The sand is so impressive. The would you call it dynamic sand? Yeah. The way that the footprints and the ball
the footprints and everything
looks awesome. And then the court slowly gets chewed up as the game progresses, and it's got that lovely full on primary colors all in your face everywhere vibe. And you're right, Brian, the product placement is so strange to see nowadays. I was just watching some gameplay, and the Pringles court is just this giant Pringles sign. It's just such a strange thing to see these days. You don't see anything like that in
games.
Dude,
as again referring to the new Tony Hawk remake, it's like, why do you want to buy a Frosty skateboard deck?
Did they pull all the board sponsors out?
Well, no, there's still proper skate brands, but it's just buy a Taco Bell T-shirt. It's that's not very skateboardy, is it? Anyway, we'll save my rant about that game for another time.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, I guess we could move on to the next pick. How about you, Dom?
Yeah, so I'll stick with the Naomi 2. My pick is Wild Riders. Have you guys played this one?
It's been a while.
The Harley Davidson one.
Yeah, I believe it's a spiritual successor. I never played the Harley Davidson game, but my understanding is it's a spiritual successor. It is a motorbike game. So Wild Riders then is like cell shaded in quite a similar art style to Jet Set Radio a little bit. Very, very blue skies, primary color, kind of very Sega-y aesthetic. And it's just a super simple arcade game where you're trying to outrun the police, so outrun element kind of there. Plays a little bit like Super Hang-On, but you're jumping across gaps and sliding under obstacles, and that's basically all you're doing, but it goes up over the course of a day. So you start out kind of on the streets, and it's all like palm trees and kind of, I don't know, Florida kind of vibes. And then you kind of go through some indoor parts. So you go through like a mansion and the police station and a mall, and then onto the train tracks. You get to the docks at night time. There's absolutely loads of Sega references. You go past the cinema that's playing Zombie Revenge starring Stick Breitling. So there's all kinds of cool little like nods to Dreamcast era stuff going on. And it's just a really fun game. It's never got a home port. It should have, but it never did. So I just replay the kind of Naomi 2 version. It emulates fine. And yeah, that's sadly the only version of it we ever got, but I would highly recommend anyone to check that out. It's a really fun game and very, very summery.
I'm surprised that no, there hasn't been a fan port to the Dreamcast of this. It looks incredible.
If it's Naomi 2, it's probably pushing it a bit.
Naomi
I wonder
2,
if it could be done with. Yeah, I wonder if it could be done with compromises. But I don't know, because like you say, Naomi 2 is pretty beefed up. Someone could maybe put it to GameCube though. They did it with Beach Spikers.
Also, I want to shout out Dom's video on this game. That's the only way I know about it, but it was a very good showcase and very colourful, very stylish game. I definitely like that kind of Jet Set Radio, cool all the way through. It's kind of one of those games where, like, if you were playing it and someone was watching, I feel like they'd be quite kind of drawn in by it, like even just visually.
Yeah, it's thanks for the shout out, by the way. It's got this like comic booky style to it. So as you're going along, there's like a little story going on, and the characters will talk to each other, and there's kind of pop-ins of different panels, a little bit like on that game 13. You remember that first-person shooter with all the pop-ins?
Yeah.
You did the cell shady one. So there's like that sort of stuff going along, and like when the police are getting close to you, it'll put like a little pop-in window showing them on your tail and stuff. So it's quite like dynamic and reactive, and it tells a little bit of a story as you're going across. Like if you do a good jump, it'll cut to your crew like hooting and hollering and cheering for you. It's really fun. And then the art designs of the guys, even though the cell shading is quite chunky, like Jet Set Radio, the aesthetic of the guys is a little bit more like something off Fist of the North Star or something, maybe. They've got that kind of weird apocalyptic punk look to them. It's such a cool game. Anyone should check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I think I have it on my Steam Deck. Maybe I'll play it while I'm out on holiday. All right, well, let's go on to Lewis. What do you have?
So I'm just going to go boring, and I'm going to go. It's already been mentioned, but Sonic Adventure, in particular, Emerald Coast. I remember when I first played that game, and the music, especially in combination with those very summery graphics. I just played it over and over and over again. It's just one of those perfect Dreamcast moments. No matter what people say about Sonic Adventure as a game, that is like one of the quintessential Dreamcast moments, and I think most people would agree with that. But yeah, I know Dom probably has a lot to say about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to hijack your section, but whatever you're about to say about how good and how much like the perfect Dreamcast game it is, I'm probably going to agree with you.
Yeah, and also just on that note, there's some other good summary levels in Sonic in general. So another one that came to mind was, it's in Sonic Heroes, Seaside Hill. That's a really good level as well. I remember obviously playing that game when it came out.
I hated that game when it came out, but then when they did Seaside Hill on Sonic Generations, I was all up for it.
Yeah, like the remake in Generations is really cool, but obviously at the time I was quite impressed by like all the different colourful characters and heroes, and playing it now, I don't think it's like the best Sonic game, but at the time I thought it was quite cool. And Sonic X was on TV, so it was like prime Sonic time for me.
Not the Freedom Fighters.
What's that, sorry?
The Sonic and the Freedom Fighters, was it? The original one. Or one of the original
The Saturday
ones.
morning one. That might have been before your time, Lewis.
Ugh. I used to watch Underground. That was one I used to watch. But
it was definitely before
Sonic
your time.
X was on Jetix, I think, and that's a throwback. But Seaside Hill, I really liked the areas that were like this kind of white and red. It's sort of like Mediterranean look to it, maybe, is like the best way I can think of it. But yeah.
It had some little like temples and stuff. Didn't it have like a whale temple or something? I remember it looking really cool. Because I didn't love Sonic Heroes as a game, but the aesthetic is peak still. Sonic Adventure soundtrack is still one of my absolute go-to summer soundtracks, and some of the stages, because everyone thinks about Emerald Coast, but then like, you know that bit of Speed Highway at the end where it's like in the daytime sort of shopping district section? Yeah, the At Dawn song, and then when you're in that level with Knuckles and you can just scoot about all the shopping districts and it's all like a sunny morning in a city, it's really nice. Spoiler alert, I'm currently working on a tour video of Sonic Adventure, so I'm in these locations a lot at the minute, and that's one that I really enjoyed and was thinking, this is a real kind of sunny kind of vibe around these parts.
It's such a shame that the second half of Speed Highway was so short, because it was just so good.
Yeah, but then you can go in and do it with Knuckles and explore that bit. But yeah, it was a shame it was short with Sonic.
What was the level that's like windy? It's like a tornado.
Windy Valley.
Yeah, it's just called Windy Valley.
I feel like that one was sort of summery, somewhat.
It's got the eagles flying around and a nice like blurring sun. Yeah,
you got Red Mountain.
But Sonic Adventure 2, I think Escape from the City is pretty summery as well. Very blue skies in that one.
Yeah, I think I wrote. This is another thing I wrote for the Dreamcast Junkyard a while back, but it was the Sonic Adventureland article, which. Effectively, where it kind of dawned on me one time that Sonic Adventure really feels like a theme park to me if you play it very specifically, and really just the stages that we all mentioned here, where I'll start a new game and then not start a new game, I'll load an old file and then play specifically, Emerald Coast, obviously, and then Red Mountain, Windy Valley, and Speed Highway, and just play those and then do a little bit of the Chow Garden, and then walk around and wherever I'm at in the story, chat with random NPCs and just kind of call it a day. I really feel like those levels really exhibit kind of that thrill ride sort of feel. And then of course you have Twinkle Park, which is more overtly a roller coaster themed level, although I don't like that one as much.
I love that stage. It's not really very summery, I suppose. Well, it could be a summer night thing. But I love it where you're riding around on the dodgems and the roller coaster intro. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it had a nice pacing of its set pieces that and then partitioned very like distinct segments that were very unique for that stage, with the the go-kart racing section and the platform area, and then just like the sequence where you're just riding a roller coaster and not really doing much else. You're just watching Sonic ride a roller coaster for a minute and a half.
And then you get the wonderful Hall of Mirrors if you play as Amy, and you get the fishing stage with Big.
Yep. Yeah, I guess in that way it kind of does embody sort of the trashy arcade, beachside arcades like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, no, the Sonic Adventure is a classic for summerness. How about you, Harvey? What's your pick or first pick?
Sorry, Sonic Adventure. I've always struggled with it. That's why I didn't say anything. I really didn't want to rain on the parade, but it is a summery vibe. It's a lovely summery vibe, but a summery vibe that I just can't get on with. Anyway,
To be fair, you can just play Emerald Coast and turn it off. That's all you need to do.
Actually,
just play the demo.
Yeah, play the demo.
Always love Emerald Coast, and then
Thinking of all the downvotes, this is going to get when it's released.
This bit will probably get edited out anyway. Lewis will nuke me. What is my summary game first pick? It is Get Bass in Japan, or in PAL territories, Sega Bass Fishing. Now, if you've never played Sega Bass Fishing, you'll probably say to yourself, a fishing game? That sounds so boring. But Sega Bass Fishing is unlike any fishing game you've ever seen. It is like this wonderful, vibrant, fast, cool ass, but also chill summer trip. You're this unnamed protagonist who's got a wonderful 90s stylish outfit, and your one mission is to catch bass. And two really, really sick slap bass jams. And it's just a brilliant game. I love it I love it in a kind of cheesy, ironic way, but I deeply love it in a serious way too. It's the game that some people will say, when friends come over, they'll crack out Dead or Alive 2 to show off their Dreamcast. I crack out Sega Bass Fishing, and I crack out the rod.
Oi, oi.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Please put reverb.
Crack out your rod. Classic Saturday night.
Please. I walked right into that one. Please put reverb on it when you edit it to make it sound more epic and sexual. Cracking out the rod. Everyone loves it when I crack out the rod. But people come over to my place, and if we're up late drinking and stuff, we get the Dreamcast rod out, and honestly, there's people who've never played video games in their life, and I've seen them catch a big one with the rod, and digging myself a big hole of innuendos here, but let's keep going. And yeah, it's impossible not to enjoy this feeling when a massive fish hits the line, and it's like, lower the rod, pull it in, and everyone's going mad. And if you've got I've got both the knockoff fishing rod, and I've got the official rod, and the knockoff one has the most hilarious, fucked up, cursed vibration. Like the vibrating motor in it, isn't fixed in properly, so the motor's bouncing around in there, and it's just a wonderful, hectic, chaotic, colourful, summery vibe, and I love it. I love this game. There aren't enough things I can say about how much I love it. And a few weeks ago, I went through I'm a bit of an obsessive person. I'll spend a month obsessing over one thing. And last month it was Sega Bass Fishing, and I went ahead and bought the the collector's edition, the big box. I bought the Japanese version that comes with the rod and the game, and I also bought the official strategy guide. Now this thing is sick. It was only 20 quid off eBay, and it is one of the most beautiful strategy guides I've ever seen. The printing is so nice on it. It's a really good quality book, and I've been reading through it, and this game goes deep. You got different lures.
No pun intended.
The rod goes deep when people come over, I tell you.
Sega Marine Fishing goes deeper, probably.
Well, we haven't actually got there yet, but that is my second pick. I don't want to spoil it.
He's not got salty yet.
But anyway, so there is an amazing deepness to it. And the manual, I don't know, it's like the manual doesn't even cover it. I've read the manual of Sega Bass Fishing, and I had to chat GPT about the times of day and which fish are feeding, and you've got to use a different. Oh my god, it goes deep. It doesn't tell you in depth about the fishing behaviors, because the fishing behaviors are weather dependent. So and you can unlock new lures. So there's different lures basically at different times of the day. You start me off, Mike. Different times of the day, fish will feed in different places. So that's why you want a lure that'll go deeper and all this kind of stuff. Because if you're using the wrong lure at the wrong time of the day, you'll catch nothing,
you just
baby.
Get nothing. Yeah,
you'll get nothing.
That's my general experience with the game.
Yeah,
it's either a big one or it's just nothing.
Yeah, I will say I'm not very good at it either. Occasionally I do catch a big one, and it's very exciting when he says a big one, and I hope we will edit that in.
Oh, a big one!
But I always knew that there was like a hidden depth to it, and I'm not going in with all the water puns, lads. Yeah, I'm just saying. I always knew there was a hidden depth to it.
You just did, man. Small one.
But because, like you say, every time you fire it up, it seems a little bit different. It's you could kind of tell that there is like a certain behavior to the fish, even though it's an arcadey game. So it is actually quite nice to know that there are those pro tips out there, and that there are some quite interesting hidden systems going on in the background. I love to find out about stuff like that.
So it's like the Shenmue of fishing.
Oh yeah, oh baby, it goes deeper than Shenmue, man.
You can catch Santa on Christmas Day.
On the last level, you have to avenge your father, who was the greatest fisherman of all time, and he was killed by the carter. Anyway, so if people listening here want to play Sega Bass Fishing, I can't actually remember the exact lures. You have to like Google it, but there are a few lures that if you stick to them, you will always catch a fish no matter what time of day. And I would recommend, I think actually when you're scrolling through the lures, I think you press Y to change lure. It'll say easy, medium or hard. If you just always choose the ones that are marked easy, you should always be able to catch a fish.
That's my approach to video games.
So in the sequel then, Sega Bass Fishing 2, are you avenged? Does the fish that you killed exact its revenge on you?
You travel to Hong Kong, and if you ask people where the fishing spots are, they take you all the way.
There's a bit of an obsession with sailors as well.
Yeah. Sega Bass Fishing 2, I just don't know what they were thinking, because they just killed the vibe. It goes way more simmy. Like simulation.
Was it an arcade release, the second one, or was it just on Dreamcast?
I actually don't know. I'll have to look to that. But they just doubled down. They doubled down on all the stuff that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
And they just removed all the amazing, vibrant summer aesthetic, and they ruined it.
Yeah, we didn't get it here in PAL territories.
Oh, okay.
No.
We didn't get marine fishing in PAL territories either.
We got Sega Bass Fishing, and that was it.
Europe didn't even get the official rod.
Didn't we? No, I didn't know.
No, it's an Australia exclusive.
Wow! Oh my god, this is motherfucker.
Aussie soft if you want the rod.
I can wax lyrical about Sega Marine Fishing, but I think we'll have a break from the fisherman. And
well, I was just going to say before we come off Sega Bass Fishing, it does kind of just epitomise the 6th generation of gaming, where it's like anything goes. It's like no concept's too crazy.
Yeah.
And the idea of a fishing game just sounds absolutely ridiculous, but just actually it does work.
Just give it a crazy commentator, and it's there.
A bit of innuendo.
Small one. And then he goes, okay, an average size, if you catch an average one. How does it? Did he say huge? Or is that just I can't quite remember.
A big one.
A big one.
That's the most memorable. Yeah. That's right up there with the Power Stone guy going, oh no, when you lose a Power Stone.
One thing I didn't realize until, because I don't think I ever played Get Bass in the arcades, but I think playing the was it Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth had it as one of the playable in-game arcade games, and so that one was a direct port of the was it Model 3?
I think possibly, yeah, for that.
I want to nod in that I want to get on my soapbox about Yakuza games just doing arcade ports and not letting Sega do a normal arcade port collection. Please carry on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think part of that is also them working with, trying to figure out like how the emulation works. So I feel like bit by bit they kind of use that budget to subsidize some of that development. Is kind of my thinking. So I don't necessarily think that puts it off the table, but I think when they ultimately do a some sort of collection for the Model 3 and Naomi and all that, I think they want to maybe make sure that they're able to do that as faithfully as possible. But one thing I thought was really interesting with that was the Dreamcast version. I didn't realize the difficulty was tuned a lot differently from the arcade version, where the arcade version puts a lot more emphasis on making sure you don't fuck up the the line maneuvers once you get a catch, because it is a lot less forgiving for when the line snaps and the tension that it allows you to put on there. I think it, like, for whatever reason, I think they made the Dreamcast version a lot more difficult.
Because I presume most people would use the pad.
Well, and they also want, I mean, the economics of it, right? They wanted quarters, so the more game overs that they could give people, the more money they'd have to put in the machine to keep playing. But so that was probably the real reason. But yeah, that was not something I expected.
The real reason. Sorry, I was.
Oh, Lewis, that was a good one. That was a cracker.
You know, I forget that Sega Bass Fishing is a arcade port, and for some reason in my head I don't think I've ever seen the arcade machine, and I'm looking it up, and that is incredible.
Oh, mate, it is a work of engineering genius. Like, it's got like the line comes out of underneath the screen, and then it moves left and right, and it actually does it tug.
Yeah, I think there might be some sort of force feedback, but I've never played it, so I don't really know.
There will be, I'd have thought. The Mad Cat stick for the Dreamcast actually has the line that goes off the end, and as you catch the fish, that actually pulls that in.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Shout out
Bonkers.
Mad Cats.
I actually want to do a shout out to Tom's article on the Dreamcast Junkyard, which is it's all about all the fishing games on the Dreamcast, and it is an incredible read. He goes into every single fishing game, compares the rods. It's a brilliant read, and it's just really, it's just quite a fun thing to read. And I read through that whole thing in my month of mad fishing game bonanza.
There's some really like weird ones on there, like Fish Eyes Wild, where it's just basically like a JPEG that you just.
It looks so fucking cursed, that game.
That's
mate.
the one that got an American release. I think that's the one I've played where it's like when you're on the main screen, it is just a static image, and then you cast
weird.
the rod, and then suddenly you're under the water. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a mixture of 3D fish with like that horrible JPEG above the water, and it's just it looks so jarring. Yeah.
Does it have a certain janky charm? I'm just going to have to look this up now, because I remember reading that article, but I didn't really look deep into this. Fish Eyes Wild. Do you
mean Fish Eyes Wild? I never played it. When I read the article, I watched gameplay of all the games. I can't remember. I think Lewis is right. Fish Eyes Wild is the one with the crap. To be honest, I think there's a few that are like remarkably low effort compared to Sega Bass Fishing, and that's why I do
hate that JPEG.
The American version's called Real Fishing Wild.
Stole my pun. I like all the in Tom's article. There's like bits where you name the fish, and one of them is called Fishy McFishface.
Oh no, it looks horrible, boys, under the water. But they actually got up to Real Fishing 3. Someone's uploaded the Real Fishing 3 OST on YouTube, so I might give that a look later. It might slap.
When we get to Sega Marine Fishing, we're going to talk about OSTs. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, the music's so good.
How about we just go back to back?
Yes.
Sega Marine Fishing. Let's go. Harvey,
Sega Marine Fishing. Where do I begin? Sega Marine Fishing is like they took Sega Bass Fishing and they turned the colors up to 11. It's bigger, it's brighter, it's lighter, it's more in your face. It's like set in exotic locations. Now, this like Sega Marine Fishing is the summary game. It's so summary, and that was actually the one that like steered me towards the fishing games, where Sega Bass Fishing is kind of like, it's got this like, camping in the Rockies summer feel, but Sega Marine Fishing's like, damn, it's a summary feeling thing. I got the game. I got the game in front of me. It's fish famous spots from around the world. Superior fish AI. They react realistically to conditions in the deep sea. Dreamcast enhancements. More fish. More stages. Mini games. Online rankings and more. 12 different lures and 15 varieties of fish. Real-time underwater camera angles. And Yeah, it's just more wacky and in your face.
Yeah.
It's got AI, guys. Apparently, it's got AI. Like that's what we all talk about now, isn't it?
It's here to steal the jobs of the other fish.
I liked that it was like more fish, more stages. It had a real like local fish in your area looking to chat kind of vibe to it.
yeah. But it is a gorgeous game. It's got to be one of my favorite in terms of the aesthetic of it.
Yeah,
it's got to be one of my favorite Dreamcast games. Like the way it looks, the setting, the lighting,
palm trees, blue water, blue skies.
Yeah, the music is phenomenal in this game. It's better than Sega Bass Fishing, and it's got this drum and bass like jungle tune in it called The Offing.
The Offing,
and it's on The
I
Offing.
was just going to say, I've seen a stage called The Offing where the waters of this field are the deepest of all fields.
And the tune is such a brilliant tune. I play it like I often play it in my DJ sets. I put it in my YouTube mixes. It's one of the best Dreamcast songs on a Dreamcast game I've heard. And Lewis, you love it as well, don't you?
Yeah.
The Offing, what a tune!
It's a massive
it's just
tune.
an amazing vibe. Has anyone else played Sega Marine Fishing?
I love it. Yeah, I really like it.
It kind of looks like what would happen if Blue Stinger had occurred differently. Like if they didn't go to Dinosaur Island and just like went somewhere else.
Yeah, if the world didn't get fucked up and they actually had a nice Christmas day in the sun.
This is Blue Stinger Gaiden because it's got Dogs Bowers in it. He's literally in the game, isn't he? We were saying before.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. Like they took Dogs Bauer and they got someone else to draw what they thought Dogs Bauer looked like, and he is your like because in Sega Marine Fishing you're catching big ass fish, you're catching marlins, you're catching like sharks, you're catching fucking huge ass stingrays. You need someone is it the net guy, the guy who has like the net or the hook?
He
like
body slams them onto the deck with a big hook. he puts that wrestling t-shirt on, and he picks them up over it and slams them on the deck.
And like he looks like Dogs Bauer minus the beard.
Yes.
And he's got the bandana, and yeah, he's your wingman hooking those Mako sharks onto the deck, and he's a badass.
He's also in charge of the Fishmail service, which is the best social media app. If anyone's on Fishmail, give me an ad.
Looking for local fish in your area.
local big ones ready to catch.
Going off the sort of blue sky thing, there's like areas in this that look like you could just be fishing off the coast of Emerald Coast.
Absolutely.
It looks like just Emerald Coast in the distance.
Yeah, and it also, there's that map on Virtua Fighter 3TB, and it really, one of the levels really looks like the island map with the kind of, the water ebbing and flowing and the palm trees.
Yeah, Jeffrey McWild's stage. Yeah, that's kind of what drew me to, because I've played marine fishing a lot more than I've played bass fishing, and that's why, because it has that kind of vibe to it. And like you say, there is a stage on there that literally looks like the island of Virtua Fighter 3. It's really got that vibe to it.
And so with that, Mike, you want to go through your second pick?
My second pick, I will go with the greatest game of all time, bar none. It is OutRun 2. I would say the perfect racing game, the perfect summer game, the perfect seaside arcade game. Every time I came across an arcade cabinet for this, quid went straight in. Quid. Cannot walk past it. Then they did an even better sequel that was kind of just an upgrade, or DLC as you'd call it now.
Oh, SP.
And then the home versions were just absolutely on another level.
Can't disagree with anything said.
So OutRun 2 is basically OutRun as a sequel full 3D graphics rather than the super scaler sprite based of the original, and they just knocked it out the park, I think, didn't they? Yeah, it's a journey every time you go on it. You've got your Sega blue skies, you've got your Sega blue water, you've got every sort of different environment under the sun as you're going across. Again, like I said with Virtua Tennis, they've just taken driving, boiled it down. It's like, no, we're not going to have all this complicated driving model, all this complicated physics. You've got a go pedal, a stop pedal, and when you hit a corner, we want you to just drift around it and enjoy it.
I don't know if anyone else here would agree, but I think this game still looks incredible. It's something to do with like the way the graphical style, like how they did it. It just looks still amazing.
What hardware was this on? Was this Lindbergh? Because it wasn't Naomi 2, was it?
It was the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's Lindbergh.
Because, yeah, that does still look amazing. I still think Naomi 2 games look amazing as well, but yeah, it does. I was playing OutRun 2 in an arcade not so long ago, and yeah, it really holds up. Like, gameplay-wise and visually.
And it helps with, like, SP. They did a high-definition re-release of it all as well with Mega Deluxe cabinets, so it's... Yeah, I don't think you can really improve on it much more from that, but sadly delisted from modern platforms.
Yeah.
You can still get OutRun 2 really cheap on Xbox.
Is that specifically because of the car model?
Yeah, Ferrari license is gone.
Is that it?
You can get it...
Couldn't they just like switch the car out or something?
Yeah, they switched the tracks out of Crazy Taxi. They should just slap a different like car logo on it or make it a slightly different shape. Who cares?
I don't think they can get away with it the same on a full 3D model that they were able to do when they like redid like OutRun 3D on the 3DS.
Yeah.
It's obviously a little pixel car's not quite as obviously this is that car.
They just need to do chassis numbers right.
Yeah. Tokyo Extreme Racer style. But yeah, you can still get it reasonably cheap on Xbox, like I want to say like still under a tenner for the original OutRun 2.
Not the SP version, though.
No, I was going to say, that's one of the more expensive.
No, SP's top dollar, but on PSP or PS2, it's a lot cheaper and it's still really good. It's just such a shame that the PC version's delisted, because I had that at the time. I've still got it on Steam, and I put it on my Steam Deck recently, and it is phenomenal on that. It's the full resolution of the screen, and it runs at 60 frames a second without dropping a beat.
Yeah, I wish I could have got the Steam version.
And SP's home conversion, coast to coast, I think that is still, like you were saying, Mike, or I think you were alluding, that is still pretty cheap on the PS2. I think I got it for like 10 quid a few months ago.
Yes, visually it's not there. Obviously,
no, it's not as good.
They've had to but it plays and feels just the same. And so it's definitely a really good way to go about playing it now.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I have quite a lot to say about this game. In fact, if Mike hadn't bagsied it first, it would have been one of my choices to talk about. I have nice summer memories of this game, as I'm sure we all do. But there was a arcade in the bowling alley in my town, and they had a OutRun 2 machine. And I put money in it and play it, and I wouldn't get very far. The time would run out, and I didn't know how to drift. And then, like, me and a few friends over the summer would keep going back to it, keep trying it, and this is how you drift, do it. Like, we were figuring it out together, and then, eventually we were like completing it, getting all the way to the end, and then eventually, after like weeks and weeks, I got the top high score on that machine, which I don't know if it was like there's like a setting which makes the high score higher, the default ones. Because any time I've ever done what I thought was an equivalent high score, I never seem to get into like the top on like any other versions of it. So I don't know if that one just had like the setting all the way down or something. But then there was a very depressing thing where I came back home from university and walked into that very arcade wanting to go play it again. And they'd gotten rid of it. They decommissioned it and they'd replaced it with, the ones I'm talking about, the Sonic Air hockey and Sonic basketball. So I was pretty bummed out. And at the time, I had a blog that I'd write on, and I wrote like a an article talking how much I love OutRun 2, and it had almost like this eulogy at the beginning for this machine. But yeah, and then over the years I played a few other versions. There was, I think you mentioned these, Mike, that I did manage to play OutRun 2. I think it was SP, but there was a setup at a bowling alley in another town nearby, and I'm pretty sure I did like 6 or 8 of us at the same time. I was like, my mind was blown by that. I was like, wow, there's like so many people playing all at once. And then in Liverpool there was an OutRun 2 SP, maybe deluxe version, where like the actual it's like the machine shaped like the car, and it has like hydraulics and it moves.
Yeah, that's the full deluxe version. That's the one I was at university at the time, and so Birmingham was my nearest like major city, and Star City in Birmingham had the full, like you say, 8-player setup with that, and it was just like, wow. At the same time, though, it was £2 to go. Oof. From Yorkshire, £2, you're pushing it a bit there.
I don't want to dox myself, Lewis, but you'll know the arcade club near me. Is that the one they've got in there? Because that's where I played it recently, and it was really good. Where you get in the car and there's like 4 cars in a row.
No, there's one where actually it physically moves.
Yeah, it's a hydraulic cab.
Oh no, I haven't played that one.
Yeah, and it has an amazing mode, which is really fun if you ever get a chance to play one of these, where it's got 2 steering wheels, and so you and a friend can sit and play. You're going along normally, but if you crash, it switches the wheel to the person with you.
That's so cool.
It's like really erratic, like, oh my god, I crashed, and then your friend's like, oh shit, I've got the wheel now, and it's really great. Yeah, that is a really cool one if you can get on that. But yeah, most of the time it'll be like the standard ones, won't it? Like lined up. Bury Arcade Club, though, there's 4 in a row and they don't link together, which me and Brian, I think, found out, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think the Leeds one's the one with the main deluxe cabinets now.
Yeah, Bury Arcade Club has everything. I mean, the one I was impressed to find was Rave Racer, which I'd never seen with my own eyes before. So when we played that was kind of, I mean, it was all right. The game itself was probably not as good as the original Ridge Racer, but man, I love the vibe of it.
I don't think the wheel worked properly on the side I was on.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's what they all say, mate.
It basically just was me watching Brian play while I crashed into everything.
But on the summary front with it as well is the soundtrack.
Yes.
Like I said, the original has like a summery vibe anyway, but all these modern remixes they did for it.
Is there what's the track called, like Risky? Is it Risky Ride? Is that what it's called?
Risky Ride.
That's good. Yeah.
They're all good. There's no bad soundtrack on it. No. And there's actually I've got a CD actually from on the Xbox release of OutRun 2. Richard Jacks actually did some mixes of the OutRun themes, and I've got like a little EP, I guess you'd call it, of his remixes on a CD.
Oh, wait, did Jakes do the Euro mixes as well, or was that somebody else?
I believe so.
Yeah, I like those a lot. I feel a bit lucky as far as OutRun 2 is concerned, because within walking distance, I want to say 5 arcades or places that have it that I can go to, including, I think one is SP and that the others are all OutRun 2. With that, we will move on to Dom. You have a pick that is also very near and dear to my heart. It is one of my favorite Dreamcast games, period, even though it officially out west didn't actually release there on it.
Yep.
What do you want to? What you got?
We got Rent a Hero #1, the ultimate summer holiday teenager getting her first part-time job simulator. amazing game. Have we all played this one, lads? Brian, I know you have.
Oh yeah, but
I actually
never
have,
completed
yes. I didn't know it was a Mega Drive game before, though.
it. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. So, Rent a Hero was a Mega Drive game, and then Rent a Hero #1 was like a full 3D remake of it on the Dreamcast.
No way.
It came out on
Fucking-
original Xbox, did it? Officially in English, I think.
It was going to.
Oh,
It was canceled at the last minute.
It's complete. You can kind of get it on certain websites, but it never came out officially for retail. So it's perfectly playable on the Xbox. But obviously, Vincent NL and the team came through and did a totally different English translation for us on the Dreamcast version, which is great.
yes.
Yeah, and I think I like it quite a bit better just because I don't know. I think Vincent NL and their team, like, holy crap, I think their preservation, not even just preservation, but like going above and beyond for like wordplay and the humor that kind of builds on what was there and recontextualizes it in a way that I think makes even more sense. Like, it's just so much more fun. It's kind of almost reminding me sort of how talented RGG Studios localization is in that with the Yakuza games in that regard.
I was gonna say, like, some of the weird jokes and even the like words in Rent a Hero #1. When I played the translation, I was like, "Fucking hell!" They've because it's really funny, like it's really silly and daft, and like the script is really really good, and they've done a brilliant job of localizing it. It's a mod, right? It's like a fan mod.
Fan patch, yeah.
Yeah,
fan patch, yeah.
It translates the game, but it's technically also a mod because it patches the cat.
Yes.
The cat
What's the cat? What do you mean?
The old lady in the mansion has a pet cat. You only see in a few scenes, but in the original game there was a mix-up with the textures, so the cat's rendered wrong, and it has the same texture as a brown bottle, and instead of a cat texture. So what the team did was they made just like a Dreamcast-looking cat texture and patch that in, so now you have a proper cat in those sections rather than a bottle that the cat shaped.
Damn.
Don't people affectionately refer to the cat as Bottles the cat, I think,
Bottles
as
the
well?
cat, yeah, absolutely.
They didn't have to do that, did they? But they did, and we can admire them for it.
No, it's an amazing patch, but like the game, I think, is so summary because all the locations, like, it's just a little small town, it's constantly sunny and bright, and it really makes me think of like growing up and getting a part-time job, and as you start to get a little bit older, maybe you like go a bit further afield than you would. So like your main character, I don't know if you'll all know the story, lads, if you've played it, but the main character obviously sparks his dad out in a terrible misunderstanding where his dad's dressed up as Godzilla. And then because his dad's laid out for a few weeks and not earning any money, you've got to go and get a part-time job to bring some bread into the house. So you decide to become a part-time superhero, but doing lots of silly odd jobs. But, just exploring your town. You live on this little sort of cute Simpsons-style Sleepy Terrace street with the apartments at the end, and then you can get onto the train and go into the big city, or out into the docks, or out into the countryside area and see Gone to the Dog. It's really good. You can go into people's houses, go to Mr. Barron's house and see the Crab Club sign with the moving crab. Everything about it's just got like nice little touches, a nice skybox, specifically one nice skybox because it doesn't even move properly. I don't know if you notice this when you're playing. When you go around, it's almost like Monkey Ball and the stage is moving rather than the sky. Like the sky just stays glued in one position. So when you turn around, it's really disorientating. The sky doesn't scroll. But it's some of that janky charm. And it's Toshiro Nagoshi, isn't it, from the Ryuga Gotoku studio that kind of worked on that one. I think story-wise. So his kind of silly sense of humour is all over it. So yeah, just a really fun, upbeat game. Big summertime pick for me, that one.
And we also can't forget it features an appearance from Sega to Sanshiro.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes. He trains you. You wouldn't be a Rent a Hero at all without him teaching you sick moves.
Yeah,
and the in-game console, the Creamcast as well.
Yep.
And the little tune that plays on the and I nick it from my channel. It's called When in Trouble Creamcast, and it's that little funky tune that plays
I love it.
When he fires up the Creamcast. I love it.
So funny, isn't it? Yeah, you do. That is on your channel, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the outro
such a
music.
Deep cut. Love that. Yeah, this game is stuffed with really, really like fan servicey little bits that kind of like, pique the interest of any real Dreamcast fan.
Did anyone see Ryo from Shenmue on the game? Because you can see him, but it's randomized in a side quest.
No way.
So there's a side quest where Sagata Sanchiro's gone missing in the dojo, and he's like trying to compose a love letter or something to one of the teachers in the college that he fancies. Some bizarre side story. But just specifically during that quest, there's a random chance that one of the models in the school will be Ryo from Shenmue. Like, obviously rendered in the Rent a Hero engine, so a bit more simplified, but will be like, it'll be his skin. I've never actually seen it myself, but I'm led to believe that that's true. I am currently halfway through a playthrough though, and about to get to that bit, so I'll let you know if I get it. I'll try and capture it on tape.
On tape.
Yeah.
For me, it's so disappointing because I don't know if anyone else found any bugs, but I think I've played it in an emulator and I've played it on real hardware, and I can't remember which one it was, but I got quite far and there was a game-breaking bug for me where I kept falling through the floor.
Oh, that's if you use save states in an emulator, that
is that
happens. It runs fine on hardware. It runs fine in emulator too, but yeah, save states make you fall through the floor.
Stop cheating, basically.
I missed the memo.
Anti-cheat technology.
Gutted.
Use the Creamcast only.
Exactly, it's because it wants you. When in trouble, Creamcast, it's telling you right there.
I will definitely give it another go eventually when I but I got frustrated and I was like, fuck playing up to this point again, so I put it down.
Yeah, I'm so grateful it got translated because it feels like one of those games that just fits in with like the Dreamcast games, the quintessential Dreamcast games. And, it's just such a shame it was just kept in Japan. Little did we know it was, there to play. I mean, obviously, like we said, you could get the Xbox version downloaded, but it's great that it's on Dreamcast. So got to shout out those amazing fan translators like Vincent Anel and co.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say the reason I've not really played it properly is because there's just so many of these fans translations coming out now, and it's like, my backlog's big enough already.
I feel like I'm living through the 6th gen again now, though, because all of these games are coming out that I've like always maybe wanted to play, but they're very text heavy, so I couldn't. There's one coming out later this year, not Dreamcast related, it's for PS2, but that Rowdy Princess, that really looks like my kind of thing, and Hilltop are patching that. So all of these things coming out, I'm the same as you, Mike. I've got a big backlog of these things to get through.
How about you, Lewis? What's your second pick?
Mine's kind of cheaty because technically it's not Sega, but Atlas were purchased by Sega, so technically they're Sega, and Radio Sega plays Atlas music.
Mac and X really isn't very summery though, Lewis.
No, well, I'm not talking about Mac and X.
Definitely not.
Great soundtrack though.
One of the best.
Great soundtrack. But I wanted to shout out two of my favourite games that are Persona 3 and 4. Mainly 3, but 4, obviously, if you've ever played that game, it takes place during the summer in a very rural town in Japan, and you live your kawaii high school adventure. And it's very summery, and if you play the version Persona 4 Golden, which came out on the Vita and then later came to other consoles, there's like some really great like summer events that are added, like where the friend group go on driving on mopeds to see other towns. It's a great time, good summer game.
That sounds sick, to be fair.
It's definitely worth a play, yeah. And it's easier to get hold of now that it's not just relegated to the PS Vita. But yeah, my one of my favorite games ever. It's up there with like Shenmue and stuff like that. Is Persona 3 and. There is a particular section in the game. There is actually a summer section where you and your main character and like all his friends go to the beach. But this isn't the bit I want to talk about. There's a specific bit, and it's in when the second term starts in the school, and there is a track called Changing Seasons that plays, and it is like the happiest song ever. It has this like really upbeat trumpet melody and this kind of funky sort of organ-like synth in the background, and it's mostly instrumental, except for there's sort of like some vocal samples, and then there's this kind of French voice kind of whispering in the background, and yeah, I don't know. It's just there's something about it in the game, like, and all the characters are in like the summer uniforms. It just kind of really gets you in that kind of vibe for, you know, summer is here. What's even cooler is when they brought out Persona 3 Reload, which is the remake of Persona 3. They had some revised songs, and I remember getting to this part and thinking, yeah, here's my fave track coming on. And they added a vocal line with lyrics, so someone actually singing over this really catchy melody, and it doesn't suck, and it actually makes it even better. That was the best part. I was like, oh my god, there's vocals, and it's amazing. So yeah, if you ever fancy feeling upbeat and summery, listen to Changing Seasons off the Persona 3 soundtrack. And then afterwards, play the Reload version and just see how much more awesome it is with lyrics. So, yeah, there you go.
Nothing better, is there, than a decent track and then they re-release it and make it even better.
That's a real rarity. I always think when games get remakes and remasters, a lot of the times they really butcher the soundtrack, so that's like a real happy version of that where they've actually improved it.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, there's a few remixes on that I actually think are better than the original game.
Yeah. It's great when they get it right, you know, and I think this is an instance where they do. Like, not all the songs on the Persona 3 Reload soundtrack get it like 100%. There's certain bits where I was like, oh, it was slightly better in the original, but this was like, you know, blew my mind when I first heard it. I was so happy. So yeah.
Lewis, you're the only person that can answer this question for me, I think.
Go on.
I own Persona 3 FES at your recommendation, but I haven't played it yet. Do I start with that, or should I get Reload?
FES.
FES is
That's a
the
spin-off,
one.
right?
I think it's like the deluxe.
Yeah, it's like a director's cut, like ads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the Persona games, because they were 3 and 4 were both PS2 originally, weren't they?
Yeah.
But then they did the portable, or PS portable version for Persona 3, and then the Vita version for Persona 4, and then they were kind of like director's cut enhanced editions.
Yeah. Persona 4 Golden, I would say, is the only way you should play that game. The PS2 version feels almost incomplete after going back to it from Golden. So, but yeah, whereas Persona 3 and Persona 3 FES are definitely worth a play. Reload is really, really good. The only thing I would sort of criticize about it is that it's slightly too easy. And I really love the kind of janky RPG, unfair mechanics that make you like get really angry and in fits of rage. So
listen, Lewis, if there's jank and they've taken the jank out in the remaster, I'll be playing the original. I'll be wanting that jank. Thank you very much.
Just last thing about Persona 3, there's something I learned about it that is like ultra development jank, which is absolutely insane. Is every single time in Persona 3 when a character is on screen, it is an entirely brand new model. No model is reused.
Why?
Yes. I don't know, but it's bizarre. So like, yeah, every character that's on screen is a brand new model.
That seems like it would be so much extra work to program for.
Yeah, and then I won't spoil it for those who are interested in playing the game, but there's a boss that changes like quite a lot of times, and apparently each version, even though it looks pretty similar, but it changes its like abilities or whatever. Again, new model for each one, you know. So yeah,
absolute mad lad behaviour.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully they fixed it in the games after, but yeah, just bizarre fact I learned anyway. I got to talk about Persona on the DreamPod. I'm so happy. Hey.
Yeah,
Persona 3 port coming to Dreamcast soon. Let's do it.
If only.
What?
Yeah. You think the PSP one would it be able to handle that?
Oh yeah. The PSP version's pretty good, but not as good as the other versions. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of my intent with this, because we did spend, I don't know, I'd say we were 50-50 with Dreamcast and non-Dreamcast stuff. And when I think about like summer Dreamcast games, I mean, there's quite a few, but I think they all sort of exist in a broader ethos of Sega, what Sega's vibe was at the time, or what their approach was to really hammering home that aesthetic to make it their own and to really imbue their games with a vibrancy and charm that's made them a bit more uplifting and optimistic, as a couple of you said earlier. And I think, you know, that it fits into a broader realm that includes a lot of stuff they were doing around then, after then, with, you know, Beach Spikers and Wild Riders, and of course before then as well. And one of those games that I think epitomizes I guess it's not just a game. This is a bit cheating, but for my last pick, I think I would just say Model 2 in general, because it really does epitomize that whole time and I don't know, that attitude that Sega had at the time, and sort of being a bit rebellious and just being unabashedly colorful and happy and vibrant at a time where that just was falling out of vogue, and they were like, we don't care, this is our brand, and we want players to feel good playing our games. So and so I do think, I do respect them going against the grain, as they had at many other points throughout their history, but particularly with their work on Model 2. I mean, I could have picked really anything. I mean, there's like Top Skater, kind of fits that summer vibe. Sega Water Ski.
Don't get Lewis upset about Tony Hawk again.
I mean, you know, what were some of the others that I liked? Like Manx TT.
Sega Rally.
Also, yeah, Sega Rally, Daytona.
Yes, Manx TT, definitely.
Dynamite Cop, actually, is it? Or Dynamite Deca 2, taking place on a cruise ship. That's another one I almost picked. But really, I think I have to go with WaveRunner, because it is a game that, you can't really play it in its original form nowadays. I have yet to see it, and it came out in arcades around, 96? It was developed by AM1, and I just don't, I think it was so bespoke, or so like specific with the way that it was structured as a ride-on jet ski or watercraft, that like I have to imagine almost all of those that ever existed are broken now irreparably, and I'm not sure who is around who knows how to fix it, and certainly Sega doesn't have their, isn't supporting arcades anymore, so I have no, or at least that game in arcades anymore, so I just can't imagine there's anybody with the know-how to maintain a machine like this. So if anybody who's listening does actually know of a working cabinet, I would love to know. So yeah, feel free to, I don't know, shout us out on social media or something, because I definitely want to play WaveRunner as it was originally intended, but I played a lot via emulation, and I just find that deep down it's still a very fun game. Of course, it imbues all of the water sport, all of the I don't know, vibrancy of having fish and vibrant set pieces and air balloons, and there's 3 courses, and they're all very vibrant in their own ways. They all, of course, lined with beaches, and they all have massive crowds and a festival atmosphere, and just a lot of cool little like visual flair that really helps sell that vibe. And then of course there's some rudimentary water physics, and nothing on the level of like Wave Race 64, which I think we were talking at the break, Mike, that that's one of our favorite video games of all time. And so I wouldn't necessarily put WaveRunner in that tier, but for what it is, I still feel like it brings me the summer spirit whenever I want it at any time of year. And I also do think in its own right, it's a very fun game. I mean, the way that you control, or at least theoretically, you have your handlebars, which give you most of your mobility for turning, but then you can lean left and right on the watercraft, or at least that's how it would have worked in the arcades, to help make sharp turns and make some of your turns a little smoother without losing as much speed. So it's kind of a little bit of a balance between how you utilize both of those mechanics to navigate the courses. And honestly, a lot of the fun is just trying to perfect your approach and shave milliseconds off of your runs, and really just climb dominate the initial board with your best times and try to constantly improve. And it's a game that really hits that for me. So I'm always coming back to it to try to just get better and better. And I think with the controller, like with an Xbox controller, it still works pretty well, because you can use a dual stick setup where you have your handlebars on your left stick, and then just map the leaning to the right stick. And so you use those in tandem to kind of mimic what the arcade cab would have done. I think it works fairly well, but I don't know if any of you all have played it or anything.
Yeah, same way as you, Brian. I sadly never played it in an arcade, but I've played it on the on the Model 2 emulator a few times, and I have the same sort of twin stick setup that you just described. I think it's a really fun game, and like you say, super summery. That first stage, where it's daytime and it's all kind of Sega blue everywhere. The minute I fired it up, I was just in love with it. It's really, really good.
Now you've described that, I do actually remember that in the arcades.
Yeah, it was a yellow cab.
I don't know if I actually played it or anything, but it's like at the time I loved, like, there was like Alpine Racer, and there was a snowboarding game as well, sort of a similar time, where all the cabinets were kind of like a big exciting, this controller is unique to this game. And I think the craziest one was there was some games where you had like paddles on a canoe and things as well around the same time.
Yeah, what was the one with the minecart, where was it Magical Truckers or something like that?
Oh, Magical Truck Adventure.
Truck Adventure, yeah.
There was one called Rail something or other. Lewis, what was that?
Yeah, Rail Chase.
Oh, Rail Chase. Yeah, Rail Chase.
Yeah, there was Rail Chase.
Yeah. Man, that whole era.
But yeah, it's just when the arcades were magical at that point.
Yeah. Well, and also you couldn't replicate those experiences at home. I mean, no matter how good home visuals got from a fidelity standpoint.
Yeah, it needed the controller to make it work, and as Activision learned, plastic controllers don't sell well.
It was the controller and the positioning of everything. I mean, the mechanical side of that, the hardware side of that was huge, but it just all kind of came together for a very kinetic experience that,
definitely. Honestly,
even today, I enjoy when I go to an arcade and play something. It's like, maybe technically I can play this at home, but
it's why it's nice if you're in an arcade, go on a racing game, you sit in a cabinet, you've got your pedals, you've got your steering wheel, and you've got your gear stick. I know there's people that will now play racing sims and things at home, and they've got all that. But to a Joe Bloggs, you're not having that for just having a couple of goals on something.
Right. Well, and even then, though, I mean, as you were saying, there's so many games that are just bespoke as far, or very unique in having a very specific controller mechanic, whether it's like, yeah, skis or whatever, where it's like, yeah, nobody owns that at home.
Come on. Someone's got to say Samba Domingo.
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought that'd be Brian's pick, to be fair.
That'd be a good one.
We got to save some for next summer.
That's true.
Because there's so many, right?
Yes.
Like, we barely scratched the surface of this. That was also... Yeah.
But as much as we touched on, Wave Race 64 is probably like the best general water skiing game. There were quite a few after that, like, I don't know if you remember Splashdown.
I do, yeah, right. The original Splashdown I loved, and Rides Gone Wild was good.
And then they did that one that was kind of theme park based afterwards, which I'd never seen before, but I managed to find the PS2 version for £1, so I'm going to give that a try at some point.
I'm actively looking for that, actually, or at least a PAL version. So yeah, I might have to, I don't know, peruse the CEXs soon. But yeah, so yeah, I guess AM2 games, but also like ones that are heavily involved with just some sort of immersive, kinetic, peripheral-based experience that really brought that magic to life, and that the summer vibes were pretty, I don't know, made all the more potent in combination with that.
British arcades in the summer with all the CRT screens kicking all the heat out with no air conditioning. Those were the days.
Rod in your hand, loads of bake. Oh, that's me.
Oh, God.
So I guess with all of that, it's been kind of fun reminiscing about all these different eras of Sega summer games and games that exhibited that spirit and kind of keep it rolling as the summers and really any time of year, as the years roll by. But I think this is probably a good time to start wrapping up. And so with that, we'll just go around the table again and say where people are, where y'all can be found and maybe what you're working on. So Lewis, how about we start with you?
Yeah, I am on Twitter and Blue Sky at LewisJFC. Not really sure what I'm working on currently. I'm just kind of chilling and just, enjoying life, man.
Nice. How about you, Harvey?
You can find me on all the silly internet places as Pizza Hotline. I make music under the name Pizza Hotline, so jump over to Spotify, my Bandcamp, I got Instagram, all of those ones. I do have Blue Sky, but I forgot the login, and I think that's a really good sign that I should use one less social media platform. So if I'm not replying to anyone there, that's why. And check out my tunes, Pizza Hotline. Thanks.
Nice. How about you, Mike?
I'm Dreamcast Librarian on YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter, as I think the official name still is. However, the one thing I was going to say at this point, I've cleared it, it's all fine, is Retro Sumus have currently got a crowdfunder going for Soviet Borgs.
Yes.
I just wanted to give that a little bit of a shout out on here, just in case anybody didn't know about it. It basically looks like a post-apocalyptic Soviet Union cannon fodder game, if you remember the Codemasters oldie. But yeah, that's coming for Genesis, Neo Geo, and more, they say. But what they really mean is it's coming out on Dreamcast, and then it's also a Mega Drive game. So
yes,
we'll leave it at
Very
that.
cool. It's got 41 days left, and it's about half funded.
It's probably
halfway there.
Quite a lot of time from when this airs for people to go back it. So please support them. They're good guys, good developers. It looks like a cool game.
And how about you, Dom?
I'm just Dreamcast Enjoyer on YouTube. I'm on Blue Sky as well. I think I'm at DC Enjoyer. That's it. I make silly, nostalgic videos, mostly talking about game aesthetics, mostly about the Dreamcast, surprisingly, but sometimes PS2 or GameCube or Xbox. Currently working on some virtual tour videos, going around looking at all the different locales of games that I love. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, come and say hello.
Nice. And I am Jet Brian Radio, pretty much just on Blue Sky these days. Kind of similar, except the opposite from Harvey, where at one point I wasn't able to, or I forgot my login for Twitter, and I was like, you know what? Fuck Twitter anyway. I'm good. I don't need to. I'm good. And it's like, yeah. Well, yeah. So I was like, I should probably wean myself off of social media altogether, and I really don't check it that much. So I get to kind of take it or leave it at this point. But one thing I am doing more of online is writing. I have a blog called thevirtuaplanet.com, which I don't know, has been I kind of kept it going off and on since like 2021 or so, where it's kind of a gaming travelogue style. I feel like travel writing translates really well to video game writing, and kind of trying to view things through that lens and in that form has been something I've been trying to explore a little bit during that time. But I recently released like 3 articles rapid fire, including 2 really fairly extensive ones. One of them is about Ridge Racer, as well as Ridge Racer 5, and kind of comparing and contrasting their depictions of Ridge City, which they're both set in. I've also written one about Pikmin Bloom, which is a kind of one of Niantic's follow-ups on like Pokemon Go, except in my opinion it was like a million times better because it was just, I don't know, it just kind of fit the format a lot better, except since they sold their whole game division over to a big, I forget the name of the Saudi company, but anyway, they run like Monopoly Go and some other stuff, and they're kind of known for being a little more, I guess, greedy with how they structure their games. So I think as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm probably good. And so, my friend group who were all playing it together for a while, we all just kind of stopped around that time. And then I wrote a smaller article about actually trashy beachside arcades. That one I just posted a couple of days ago. So, I was inspired by my recent trip just to the where was I? Cleethorpes Beach. I just needed a random beach day, and I was like, doesn't matter the beach. Where does the train go directly? All right, perfect. We're going there. So, with that, I guess, Lewis, do you want to say where people can support and find us on the Junkyard?
Yeah, it's www.thedreamcastjunkyard.co.uk. Twitter is @thedcjunkyard. Blue Sky is thedreamcastjunkyard.co.uk. And we're on Facebook. We've got Discord. You'll find all links to all the social media places on the sidebar on the website. We also have a Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee if you want to support us and help us, fund hosting for the podcast and the website and various other things that we pay for to bring this to you. Yeah, so many thanks to the following people. So David SM, Tom Charnock, Douglas Wright, Ty Guy, Chris Walter, Gary Meacher, Anthony Harrop, Pirate from Yates, Lee Sparks, Thomas Wurgler, Wombat, Ross Kilgariff, Willis Alvey, N. Sanders, James B, Derek Pascarella, Pizza Hotline, me, and Lawrence Goodchild. So thank you to, I know obviously some of those guys are actually in our team, but thank you to everybody who supports, and yeah, very much appreciated.
Definitely. Well, thank you all for joining me on the this summer sunny podcast, I guess, depending on whenever people listen to it. Or if they listen to it in the winter, hopefully maybe it helps bring some summer vibes their way. But yeah, I guess to close out, I'll just remind everybody to enjoy the sun and do not fucking forget your sunscreen because, oh shit. And also if it's cloudy, like, a lot of times it is in the UK, that's when it's worse.
I say, definitely don't forget your sunscreen when it's cloudy.
Always wear sunscreen when it's cloudy because or if you're, out in it, because, it'll surprise you. That's when you're least suspecting.
Especially if you're fishing out. If you're out fishing all day, wear some freaking sunscreen, man.
That's it. Cheers, all.
This is the Dreamcast disc. 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 And is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers. Please stop this disc now.